Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktar Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading for Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka, text number 24. Sava ayam sakya anughita satkato Vedesha guhyesha cha guhyavadibihi Yayeka isho jagatma leelaya Srujati avati atti natatra sajjate Sava ayam sakhi anughita satkato Vedeshu guhyeshu cha guhyavadibihi Yayeka isho jagatma leelaya Srujati avati atti natatra sajjate. Word meaning. Saha, he, why, also, I am this, Sakhi, O my friend, Anughita, described, Satkataha, the excellent pastimes, Vedesho, in the Vedic literatures, Guhyesho, confidentially, Cha, as also Guhyad Adibihi, by the confidential devotees, Yaha, one who, Ekaha, one only, Ishaha, the supreme controller, Jagat, the complete creation, Atma, super soul, Leelaya, by manifestation of pastimes, Srijati, creates. Avatiyati, also maintains and annihilates. Na, never. Tatra, there. Sajjate, becomes attached to it. Translation purport by Jagan Sabai Chinarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Oh dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world, yet remains unaffected. Please repeat the translation. Oh dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead, that very personality of Godhead, whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world, and yet he remains unaffected. Purport. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. Here it is confirmed in the Bhagavatam also. The Vedas are expanded by many branches and sub-branches by great devotees and empowered incarnations of Lord like Vyasa, Narada, Shukadeva Goswami, the Kumara, the Kapila, Prahlada, Janaka, Bali, Yamaraja, etc. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam especially, the confidential parts of his activities are described by the confidential devotee Shukadeva Goswami. In the Vedanta Sutras or Upanishads, there is only hint of the confidential parts of his pastimes. In such Vedic literatures as the Upanishads, etc., the Lord has expressively been distinguished from the mundane conception of his existence. His identity being fully spiritual, his form, name, quality, and paraphernalia, etc., have been elaborately distinguished from matter, and therefore he is sometimes misunderstood by the less intelligent persons as impersonal. But factually, he is a supreme person, Bhagavan, and is partially represented as Paramatma or impersonal Brahman. Thus is the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshor Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nilvisesha Sunyavadi Pachyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sava ayam sakya anughita satkato. You just see that such a beautiful description by Hastinapura Vasis. How fortunate they must be. Hastinapura was the epicenter of the whole Kurukshetra war. Who's supposed to rule the kingdom? Who's supposed to? And we know that most of the soldiers or Kshatriyas have laid down their bodies in the war field. And this episode is happening, this description is happening after the Kurukshetra war. And all these women many of them must be widows who has an opportunity to see the Lord while he is living the palaces from Hastinapura. Such a fortunate souls that they had such an understanding that the person who is walking or the person who is moving away from Hastinapura to Dwarka is not just another prince. He's not just another king. He is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jagadatma Leelaya, Ishaha Jagadatma Leelaya. He is Isha. He is the Supreme Controller. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whose pastimes, whose activities, Sava Ayam Saki Anughita Satkataha. The whose activities, the transcendental activities are described in Vedesh Guhyesh Chaguyat Adidvi. The whose transcendental pastimes, activities, the Leelas are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature, Vedesh Guhyeshu. And Guhyavadibihi, by the confidential devotees. So, every sloka, in fact, Bhagavatam is such a narration that every sloka very intriguing, very, it draws your attention. Why? Because each and every sloka Bhagavatam is a Uttama shloka. Uttama shloka has a two meaning. One is Uttama shloka, as we also every day read, Bhagavati Uttama shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. That when you perform the devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Uttama shloka, whose activities, who is praised by the choices of the words, then Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike, you will be situated in a Naistika Bhakti, undeviated Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. So, Uttama Shloka is the one, the Supreme Personality of God, who is glorified by the choices of the words. But glorified by whom? By Uttama. Shloka means, in Sanskrit language, this is called Chandas, which is the poetry is constructed in a particular way, particular fashion, which is very poetic in nature. Very beautiful to recite, to hear. But those slokas are recited by whom? That's what mentioned here. Guhyavadibihi. These slokas are recited by Guhyavadibihi, by the confidential devotees of the Lord. They are also Uttamas. Slokas by Uttamas, devotees of the Lord. So they use the kind of words they use is Divyam, transcendental in nature. So the Lord's form, Lord's activities have been described the best of the poetry in Chandas in this Bhagavatam. And the purport of the Vedic literature is understood by this simple woman. How much blessed they must be. Many times people, when they read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they think that the whole literature, not on the whole Vedic literature, is about, what is that called, Purushadika. It's mostly, they're describing about the men, Purusha. Especially when they read some slokas of Bhagavad Gita, that how Stri Vaishya Sudra Papa Yonayaha. When they read such kind of slokas, it's not about, the Vedic literature is more about describing about the man. In fact, Prabhupada explains in one of the Bhagavatam purport that Purusha is enjoyer. Any person who is taken the position of enjoyer, he is Purusha. And who is that Purusha? Purusha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But here, every jiva in the conditioned state is trying to imitate Krishna, imitate the enjoyer. So every soul is Purusha. Neither man is in the man's body or woman's body. Both are Purusha only. Both are Purusha. Because the enjoying tendency determine, but what kind of Purusha we are? Imitating Purushas. We are not real Purushas. Real Purusha is Krishna. So you see here, these women, they are able to perceive the position of the Lord. And the position of Lord is explained in the Vedeshu Guhyeshu Cha Guhyavadibihi. It is the Lord's position is explained with the great qualified devotees in the pages of Vedas, and that too in the secret portions, Guhyeshu, confidential portions of the Vedic literature. So in the Bhagavatam, first canto, that one sloka is there. What is that? Bhurini bhuri karmani srotavyani vibhagashaha atah sadhu atra yat saram samudrita manishaya. That Saunaka the Rishis asked the question that the bhuri karmani, that the Vedic literature, srotavyani vibhagashaha, the Vedic literature is divided into many divisions. Based on what? Bhuri karmani. Based on the different kinds of duties people are supposed to perform. Atah sadho atra yat saram. But we are interested to hear about the saram, the essence of the Vedic literature. Because it's vast subject matter, so much of vast literature. And why so vast? Because there are many varieties of scriptures, because there are many varieties of living entities, and they're drawn by different kinds of, they are drawn by the tendency to perform different kind of activities. So for them to direct, the different kinds of duties are given based on their guna and karma. Or you have to perform. A woman, people, the jiva who is there in the woman body, what kind of activities they're supposed to perform, how they should conduct in their life. In the man's body, how can, even the man's body or woman body, if somebody is having kshatriya qualities, what kind of duties? Somebody is possessing brahminical qualities means gunas, what kind of activities they should perform. So the different divisions are there. But all these divisions, what will happen in this Kali Yuga, especially in Kali Yuga, the fallen souls, very difficult to understand and go through on, undergoing all these lessons, all the various scriptures of Varna and Ashrama, very difficult. That's how specifically the Shaunaka Rishi is asking, we wanted here just saram. And as Prabhupada mentioned in this Bhagavad Gita, he mentioned the first line, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of Lord Shri Krishna. Vedecha sarvair aham eva vedyaha. One should know the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That is the purpose of all the Vedic literature. But as mentioned here, that is described, the attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. Confidential parts of the Vedic literature. First of all, one will get, the moment you get into the Vedic literature, different kinds of activities, different kind of results, then you'll get attracted to the some of the fruitive activities, and they get stuck there only. So to reach the confidential, the aspects of the Vedic literature, it requires, otherwise it will be very surprising. Parikshit Maharaj, such a great devotee of the Lord, and from very birth, not from very birth, even within the womb of the mother, he is able to see the Lord, he is able to have the darshan of the Lord. And from very childhood, he is brought up from such great devotees like Yudhishthira and Arjuna. Of course, unfortunately, he did not have a father, so his grandfathers brought him up. So, and whole life he has dedicated his life in Krishna's service. See the kind of maturity he had. When something happened in his life, and in spite of being capable enough of counter curse, not only counter curse, he can even stop the curse, he don't even accept the curse. That is the kind of ability, capacity he had. But still, something is happening, abnormal. Even he is not able to reconcile it. How can I disrespect a sage like this? No doubt, I may be frustrated. I may be thirsty. I am the king. It is a duty of the Muni to welcome the king in the forest, in his ashram. But in spite of all that, how can I disrespect? It is not my nature. So he started repenting. Then further, he thinks that it is the will of the Lord, it is the will of providence. He accepts this and he renounced the whole kingdom. He renounced the whole kingdom. He renounced his opulences, he renounced his family. As a very young child, Janamejaya. He renounced everything as it goes. So it is very shocking and surprising for all the sages who assembled there. How come Parikshit Maharaj, such a great devotee? See, what is the difference between great devotee and a devotee king and non-devotee king? A non-devotee king is, of course, he also has some prescribed duties, but still, he's vilasa jivana. He's enjoying the kingdom. He's enjoying the royal order. But as a devotee, his only intention is just to, take the, rule the kingdom as per the Lord's wish. See, when Dhruva Maharaj, when Lord appeared in front of him, and Dhruva Maharaj was asked, please ask any boon you want. He said, I don't want anything. I am very much satisfied. But still Krishna says, no, I know your desires. Because what purpose we came for the tapasya? You came here, you wanted to have darshan of me because you had a desire to attain the bigger kingdom than your father. I'll facilitate you, I'll provide you. Whereas devotee is saying, I don't want. Because he is free from all that attachment. He is free from all that enjoying tendency. But Krishna says, no, I will provide you. And he provided the bigger kingdom than his father. And what is the bigger kingdom? His father's kingdom is the whole earth planet. So where else he can give kingdom? So he created another planet for him, which is much better facilities. In fact, it is another Vaikuntha, where all this tapatrayas doesn't touch. Such kind of kingdom he has created. Pulsed Dhruva planet. So bigger in in that context. So you see that Lord give unlimited abilities, capabilities and opulences to his devotee because Lord knows his devotee doesn't indulge in sense gratification. He is least interested in sense gratification in this world. But he facilitates such kind of opulences to his devotees because he wants. Otherwise, what is the difference between Duryodhana and Arjuna? Duryodhana and Yudhishthira. Duryodhana is, as such, Duryodhana is ruling. It's not that Duryodhana is ruling very badly. For the people and all very happy. But his guna is not proper. His quality is not proper. He is not devoted. He is not dependent. The person who is not dependent on the Lord, person who doesn't possess good qualities, what will happen? He is always driven by jealous, envy. That means he is under the control of Maya Ashritaha. He is controlled. He is always under the influence of Maya, material energy. Any person who is in the control of Maya, he has 4 limitations. What is that? Cheating tendency, cheating propensity, committing mistakes, getting illusioned, and imperfect senses. But Lord is beyond from all these limitations because Lord is Supreme Personality Godhead. He is the master of the Maya. He is not under the influence of Maya. That was mentioned. Susrujati avati atti natatra sajjate. Everything is created by him. Creation, maintenance, destruction, everything is controlled, everything is organized by him, but he is, he is not attached. He never become na tatra sajjate. So even his devotee also become na tatra sajjate. Even though he is indulged in the activities in this world, but he is completely free from such kind of attachment. He is free from such kind of attachment. Vita raga bhaya krodha manamaya mamupashritaha. He is completely under the shelter of the Lord. Mamupashritaha. That's how he will be able to easily give up. Vita. Vita means giving up. Raga, bhaya, krodha. He is free from attachment. Only one who is become free from attachment, he will be able to become mamupashritaha. Mahatmanastu mampartha daivim prakritim ashritaha. They have taken shelter of daivim prakriti, whereas all others have taken shelter of. Why Balarama killed Romarshan Sota? That is the only reason why Krishna. Here Krishna is in the mission of eliminating one person, who is Duryodhana. There Balarama has gone on another mission. Actually, everybody thinks he is not interested in the war. That's how he went away for a pilgrimage. Actually, he has another task there. The two people are very crucial in the society. The ruler and Bhagavata Kathakar. Ruler supposed to rule the kingdom as for the directions of Krishna. Kyun? Dharmat sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma is actually given by the Lord. And you are becoming adharma. So Duryodhana he's taken the path of adharma. And he wants to bring Dharmaraja, the one who is going to follow the dharma established by Krishna. So Krishna, he is establishing replacing Duryodhana with Yudhishthira. There Balarama has gone another mission. What is that mission? He wanted to replace Romarshan Sutta with Sutta Goswami, his own son only. Here replacing brother, their son. It's nothing to do with the relations. It's something to do with what kind of faith and convictions they had. Romarshan Sutta, no doubt he's a tapasvi, he's a jnani, and he's performing sacrifices. He's head of the whole, the head of all the sages. He's giving Bhagavat Katha. But when Balaram came, he is doubtful whether to get up or not to get up. Because he thinks that, no, okay, as a Kshatriya, as a ruler, as Brahmana, sages, has to respect. But now he is sitting on the Vyasasana. So person who is sitting on the Vyasasana, like we see how Sukadeva Goswami is sitting on Vyasasana, the king, Parikshit, is sitting on the floor. But in the normal course, what happens? Any sage goes to the courtyard, king comes down and sit on the asana. So he is doubtful. I am speaking Bhagavata. Now Balarama has come. He is the prince of Dwaraka. Now I should get up or not get up? He is a Kshatriya. I am not only Brahmana, but also Bhagavata Kathakar. So immediately Balaram comes and chops off his head. Chops off his head just with kusha grass. So person who cannot recognize the Supreme Personal Godhead, he is not qualified enough to speak on Bhagavatam. You see? That's so many times when Prabhupada speaks about Bhagavata Kathakar, Bhagavad Saptaha, the people are just speaking Bhagavatam just for, as their, livelihood, for name, fame. Prabhupada is very upset. Why? Balaramas are upset. And Balarama's representative is spiritual master. So there is a mission. The speaker has to be a qualified person. Even the questioner, the inquirer is also a qualified person. So Parikshit is such an exalted person. His activities are exalted. Whereas we are interested in to hear no different kinds of activity in this world. But Parikshit Maharaj, such a great exalted person, whereas he's going and inquiring about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's asking, what is my duties I supposed to perform? And in general, what is the duties of the common man who is going to die? So how to prepare oneself to die? Who is interested in the subject matter? We are more interested what is today, what is there in the newspaper, what is there in the movies. What actually happens when we hear? We take things very casually. We keep so much of information is flowing on our head. What happens? It's not merely a news. You keep reading newspaper every day. What Trump said today? What is the bill passed today? What is that yesterday? Whatever. So what is happening the last 6 months, 5 months? So what is happening when you keep hearing, what is happening? Our mind gets influenced about. There's a lot of anxiety is created. So whenever you hear any material news, whether it is sports, whether it is politics, whether it is some, what is that, Lokakatha, Gramya Katha, we get affected, our mind get affected. And what is the result of that effect? A lot of anxiety is created in us. A lot of anxiety. And in anxiety, you see a person who is in a great anxiety. Two things happens. Generally people who got affected this thing, they keep eating. They don't have any control in eating. Tongue. Imbalance will happen. So that's why people who are in the great anxiety, one side there is struggle in life, and simultaneously there is a great enhancement of sense gratification. People who are in great anxiety, you see their senses are not in control. So that's what, biggest. Then what it leads? They forget the very real, the purpose of life, the goal of life, the lakshya, the aim of life they'll forget. Nate viduhu swardhagatim Vishnu. So, but here we see the sages in the Bhagavatam, they are very inquisitive, curious to hear about the Lord's pastimes. Lord's pastimes has such a great potency, where tapatraya unmilanam, it can take you out from the roots, that tapatraya. You can become free from the anxieties with the roots, not just like Bhagavatam gives another analogy that how in the forest fire happens, that the whole forest is burnt away. But again when rain comes, when it rains, again sprouts. You may become some kind of the material anxieties you may get mitigated sometime, when people lose job, there will be great anxiety. But again after some time, maybe 3 months, 4 months, after some time again they get job, things will become normalized. But they don't understand this world is what is called in Hindi is called utal putal, topsy-turvy. Sometimes job comes, sometimes job goes, even in job also some anxiety. Now, so much. They don't understand the reality of this world. So, the sages are not interested in knowing about the worldly stories. They are interested about how this Parikshit Maharaj, such a great emperor, such a great personality, has given up everything. And what is that? He's such a great pious king. That there must be something more important than the kind of life what he's living now. Otherwise, why he gives up and sitting and inquiring something? There must be more precious thing than the kind of life what he's living. And that precious thing is to knowing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, the same thing, even Sanatana Goswami, that the person who approached Lord Shiva, that he wanted to have the most valuable thing in this world. And he was directed to Sanatana Goswami, there is a Goswami, go and ask him, he has the most valuable thing with him. And we all know that story, that pastime, that how he goes and asks and he gives a chintamani with what is there with him, which is there in the garbage. Later on, that man comes back and he realizes that how come if this is the most valuable thing, how it is placed it in garbage? Oh, that means this is not most valuable thing. There must be something else. He comes back to Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami says, oh, if you are really interested to have the most valuable thing in this world, then you should just throw this Chintamani in the Yamuna and come back. So he got very excited, even though it is something, it is very difficult to give up any valuable thing. But when you know that the most valuable thing is going to come up, you'll give up. Paramdrishtva nevartate. You have to give up the lower taste when you are going to see the higher taste. So he gives up and asks, and he says that this is the most valuable thing. What is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because the Lord has invested all his Namnam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. Lord has invested all his potencies in the holy name of the Lord. That will transform your life. It will make you free from this all anxiety. It completely liberates you from the bodily activities and keep you situated in the original constitutional position as an Atma, a servant of Krishna. So, Parikshit Maharaj is actually interested in knowing such a most valuable thing in life. That's how very easily we will to give up. And Sukadeva Goswami is another exalted personality, self-realized personality, not interested in this material world at all. Whereas we have become very familiar with this material world. We are so much familiar, we think that these are the things which are going to give happiness, these are the things which are going to give pleasure in this world. But we should know this material world is Srijati, Avati, Atti. All these things are created by the Lord. Whatever we see in this world, everything is the creation of the Lord. And it is maintained for some time, and further what will happen? Atti. Atti means everything is destroyed. That means everything has a date of birth, everything has a beginning, everything has an ending. That's how Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are alpamedasaha. The people who get attracted towards the phala, the results. By worshipping the demigods, by worshipping the devatas, they attain some phala. But antavantu phalam tesham. But all that phala, all that material results has an end. It's not going to be there permanently with you. The happiness, the joy, what you experience is also ends. So what is the point in hankering for something which is going to end? So one should know about this material world. Dasa Prabhupada said, if you wanted to realize the Lord, is not that realizing the Lord is not something independent of knowing this world. Without knowing this world, without knowing your disease, first of all, you cannot go to the doctor to get the cure. So you should know about this world. This world is created with the world. In fact, you see Vyasadeva, in the Bhagavatam, you see Nardamani comes and Vyasadeva was a despondent, Nardamani comes, then he says, no, you have to present the essence of directly you should present to the people. People get confused. Whatever you have written, everything is all good intentions, you have written everything. But people get confused. There is so much of literature. Very difficult for them to capture. That's what Prabhupada writes in this purport. That we see in the Vedanta Sutras or Upanishads, there is only hint of confidential parts of the pastimes. There's only hint. Where Vyasadeva elaborately writes. He writes Vedanta, whole Vedic literature, 4 Vedas, 100 Upanishads, 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas, so many Samhitas. And further, Vedanta Sutras. And Prabhupada writes here, in all these things, in all such Vedic literature as Upanishads, etc., the Lord is expressively been distinguished from the mundane conception of his existence. Very, first of all, very remotely, only hint is given, directly not presented. So that's why Narada, when he comes and says, no, you have to directly present it, if that is your intention. Especially in all this literature you are writing for the people of Kali Yuga, where in the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, it is not in written format, it is in the Shrota, Vyani, Rajendra. It is everything in the form of hearing. But when you are putting in writing all this Vedic literature, why can't you give directly? Because why you are putting all these things? Because people have Alpayusha Sabhyaha, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyahi. In Kali Yuga, people are not qualified enough. So what is the point in presenting so much of vast literature? So that's how Vyasadeva sits and meditates in the Lord, and he has a darshan of the Lord. That's very important, very nice description of the Bhagavatam. It says, Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihito amale apashyati purusham purnam mayam cha dad abashrayam. See, when Vyasadeva fixed his mind, that Bhakti yogena manasi, fixed his mind in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, samyak pranihito amale, he engaged in a fixed, he completely fixed his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the devotional service, bhakti, amale, without any tinge of material existence, without any tinge of matter. Then what happened? Apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha. That he is able to have the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha. He is able to have the darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead completely, mayam cha, including Maya. So Maya is not separate from the Lord. So Maya means material existence. So Prabhupada also says that unless somebody understands the material existence, the Prakriti, the Dhatus, the Prakriti means gunas, the Dhatus, material elements, Panchabhutas, the living entities, the different kinds of living entities in this world, the Kala. Kala is the agent or potency of the Lord. Everything, Kalosmi, what is that? Lokakshayakrat. Lokakshayakrat. It's just swallowing. Loka means planets or people. Lokakshayakrat. It's deteriorating. It's just taking away everybody. The Kala's influence, the karma, how karma is binding everybody in this world. Unless you understand all this subject matter, it's very difficult to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you know all these factors, the gunas, how the quality of the gunas are acting, how the Panchabhutas, everything is made out of Panchabhutas here, and the living entity is actually embodied in these material bodies, and he is driven by Kala, and he is actually accepting the different kinds of bodies time and again due to his karma. Then he has actually understood he is situated in knowledge. Then only he can come to understanding what is Bhagavan, what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's how Vyasadeva showed as an example that how he has the complete darshan of the Lord means including Maya, including his material existence. That is very important thing. So that's how sometimes many times people ask that Bhagavad Gita when we read, we are not able to understand. Actually, what is the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita? These are these things. Subject matter of Bhagavad Gita is, how many subjects are there? Five are there. Jiva, about the living entity, about the Lord, about the personality of Godhead. Then Kala, Prakriti, and Karma. This is the subject matter. So, whether you understand, don't understand, you keep reading Bhagavad Gita, keep reading Bhagavad Gita, keep reading Bhagavad Gita. Why? Two reasons. One is, you have directly in touch with Krishna, because Bhagavad Gita is not different from Krishna. Many times what parents says, children will not understand. But just by following parents, that reverence is expressed, the relationship is established. They don't understand what is the meaning. Child wanted to just play around. He don't want to go to school. But parents says, no, you should go. Parents knows why they are asking child to go to school. But just by abiding what parents are saying, child is getting benefited. Whether he understand at that time or not. But later on, he'll understand the value of what he is. So likewise, when we read Bhagavad Gita, two things are happening. One is, we are becoming obedient. Second thing is, simultaneously you are bestowed with, because everything is bestowed when we become obedient. Everything will be bestowed. There is a beautiful shloka in Bhagavatam. In fact, after Lord appeared to Brahmaji, and he told that now you take care of the creation. Now he has disclosed who he is. Brahma got disclosed, that Krishna discloses to Brahma that you are my son, you have appeared in a lotus flower, now you have come for a purpose. What is that purpose? Is the creation. Now you do creation. And Lord disappeared. Now he sits in the further meditation, he sits and started praying to Lord Krishna. Oh Lord, please please bless me with the ability to create. Again Lord said, no, why you are getting worried? The moment that a task is given to you, the very moment you are already blessed with that ability to capacity to create. So Prabhupada very beautifully write in that purport that any person is entrusted with a duties by the Supreme Personality Godhead or by his representative is already blessed with the ability to perform that activity. You see? So one will get bestowed just by, first of all, such kind of responsibilities will be bestowed only to a dependent soul. So just by reading Bhagavad Gita, we expresses what is it Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Just by reading. In fact, what is meant by reading Bhagavad Gita? There is another thing. Reading Bhagavad Gita is meant for what? To acquire knowledge, ज्ञान पाने के लिए, या ज्ञान दिखाने के लिए, just to show off knowledge or to acquire knowledge? No. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Adhyastehe cha dharmam idam samvadam, dharmyam idam samvadam, 18th chapter, text number 70. Adhyashyate cha imam dharmyam samvadam avayoho jnana yajnena tenaham istasyam iti me matihi. He says, dharmyam samvadam, imam dharmyam samvadam, this most sacred conversation, if somebody studies adhyashyate, somebody studies this most sacred conversation, what happens? That jnana yajnena tenaham istahasyan iti me matihi. In my opinion, he is worshipping me through his intelligence. He is not to acquire knowledge. He is not to show off the knowledge. Of course, he will be bestowed with knowledge. That is a different thing. That is bestowed. You are blessed with that. But by reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam regularly, what is happening is you are worshipping the Lord through your intelligence. This is what Prabhupada writes. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation worships me by his intelligence. He will become devotee. Just by reading Bhagavad Gita, you will become devotee. You are worshipping the Lord with intelligence. And intelligence is superior to the mind. Mind is superior to the senses. And actions, the people's actions are controlled by the senses. And the actions are directed by the mind. And chosen by intelligence. Isn't it? The ability to choose to do this or to do this, what's it? Discretion is coming from intelligence. And Krishna says, you, by reading Bhagavad Gita, you are engaging your intelligence in my worship. Rishikesha Sevanam. Engaging your senses in the service of Rishikesha. Then what is happening? Your senses are getting purified. And engaging the intelligence in the service of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita. Our intelligence gets purified. Purified means it becomes spiritualized. So, we have to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Then we'll get, one thing is, we'll get influenced by. Whenever we hear, whenever we read, anything for that matter, we'll get influenced, our mind get influenced. When you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we'll get influenced by Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That's how in the Gita Upanishad, Gita Mahatya, it said that malam nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine. Malam vimochanam, malam nirmochanam pumsam. Now the person, he has to take bath every day to cleanse up his body. Likewise, Sugrat Gita Amrita Snanam Samsara Malanashanam. That just by taking bath or just by hearing Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, Gita Snanam, by taking bath, by hearing Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, what happens? Samsara Malanashanam, Samsara Mala, the debt of samsara, material existence, one will become free. So that's how when we read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, because these slokas are this text is, or this understanding, this realization of the great personalities who had a direct access to the Lord. They're able to perceive. They are not ordinary women. They are not ordinary women. Actually, they looks very ordinary, but see their understanding. They're able to see, they're able to perceive the person who is just leaving Astinapura. He is not another ordinary person. He is not another Kshatriya. He is not just another prince. He is none other than the Supreme Personality. Ishaha Jagadatma Leelaya. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Supreme Controller. His activities are pastimes, which are described in the Vedesha Guhyesha Cha Guhyavadibihi. Whose activities are described as the pure devotees in the confidential portions of the Vedic literature. And this is perceived by such great, devotees. These women are such a great exalted personalities. So when we hear, we get absorbed, our mind get influenced by their teachings, influenced by their realizations. Otherwise what will happen? As Prabhupada writes, there are so many people, but factually, what is that line? He says, there are many faithless people who are atheists, he says. Sometimes misunderstood by, he is sometimes misunderstood by a less intelligent person as impersonal. Oh, he is impersonal. Activities can be performed only by persons, not objects. His impersonal means he doesn't have form, he's not a person. That means no activities. And whatever activities he is performing, that is accepted by body. He accepted a body. Avajananti mamuda manushim tanumashita. To perform activity, that Supreme has taken the form. And what is that form? Manushim, just like human being. So just like human being means he also has 4 limitations. That is a imperfect understanding. He is sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent person. Mudha. Impersonal. But factually he is Supreme Person, Bhagavan, and is partially represented as Paramatma or impersonal Brahman. So, the Lord, the Leelas are Divyam because he is a divine personality. He is not the personality whom we are familiar with in this material world. So, and these great personalities, in fact, they are in the pages of Bhagavatam. These Puravasis are in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Such an exalted devotees. Please stop here. Any question or comments? Yes, Rup. Yes. Yes. Any person, if you wanted to give medicine to any suffering soul or suffering person or diseased person, if you want to give medicine, first of all, you have to make him realize that he is suffering. Today the problem is, a madman doesn't feel that he is suffering. A madman or intoxicated man doesn't feel that he is suffering. So unless he comes to senses that he is suffering, he will not show any interest to take medicine. So that is the reason it is very important that to know the effects of the material world or material existence. Even forget about the people not devoted, people who are not come in contact with the pure devotee. Even people who have come in contact with the pure devotee, even they will not be able to absorb Krishna consciousness or bhakti rigorously or seriously or sincerely. Why? Because even they have not understood that they are suffering. Many times, the material pleasure is considered as a pleasure. But Prabhupada always says material pleasure is actually suffering. Is actually suffering. Material, I'll give a simple analogy. Eating is very pleasurable activity, isn't it? Why we eat? All nice eat, because it is a pleasure. It gives pleasure. If it doesn't give pleasure, anybody eats? But eating is pleasurable, but passing stool is not that pleasurable activity. In fact, if it is a constipation, it is a very painful activity. It's a painful activity. But the painful activity, what is the cause for the painful activity? Eating. Unrestrictedly you are eating. And that creating indigestion or whatever, constipation, and it's pain. So your pain, the cause for the pain is the dukkha. The cause for the dukkha is the sukha. And then how can you say that is sukha? That is causing the pain. So that's why Prabhupada said there is no sukha in this world, because sukha is resulting in dukkha. So everything is dukkha only. So even first devotees also should understand that that's how bhakti has to be performed by bhiti. Bhakti has to be performed by bhiti. Bhiti means fear. Bhakti should be performed in 3 stages. Bhiti, niti and priti. Bhiti means out of fear of material existence. In moment of inattentiveness, you'll be drawn by the currents in the ocean, or waves will take away. Nowadays we see that how people are so much selfies and making reels and all. Just go in the middle of the flood the flood water is going, and just they want to stand in the middle of the water and take this thing, and they swayed away. Isn't it? So one should know that how fearful this material existence is. Davanala, it is a forest fire burning away. So out of fear of burning away by material existence, one should immediately take shelter of Guru and perform bhakti. So bhakti should be always driven by bhiti. Then after some time you will come to the stage of niti. Niti means that obligation. Like, Prabhupada has protected me so much. I know no anxiety for eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Everything is taken care. Whole world is driving, whole world is running just for these things. And all that is taken care. Where is an anxiety for me to take care of myself? No anxiety. I'm totally free from anxiety. This is just, causeless mercy of Him. So how much we are getting obligated? How much we should be obligated? We are obliged to serve. Any person who is, who has a little niti, any sense. He performed the activity, bhakti. I should perform, I should do something for Guru. Then comes Preeti. Out of love you perform the activity, because you develop love towards Krishna. I am performing. Initially chanting, if I don't chant 16 rounds, I'll get into Maya. Oh, better chant. That is Bhiti. And second is, Prabhupada told to prescribe duties. I should supposed to perform prescribed duty. Prabhupada said, I am a disciple has an obligation to Guru, isn't it? There is a relationship, no? It's a two-way traffic, it's not one-way traffic. I am obliged to perform. I have taken vows. I have taken vows means I have to fulfill the vows. Niti. Then after some time, without chanting, your life cannot exist without chanting. Chanting will become integral part of your life. By then you know. So all these three things coexist equally. Don't think that iske baad one step, two step. No. All three things coexist. The point I'm trying to say, Prabhu, is very important to know how fearful this situation, the worldly situation is. So when we go to a person who is not fortunate enough, who has not come in contact with Krishna consciousness, he don't know what is spiritual life all about, we should go and tell the reality of this world. Reality of this. You know, you tell about Krishna Loka, Vaikuntha Loka, Bhagavatam. No. In fact, that's what Krishna started saying in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavatam, don't touch to them. You tell Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, why are you in so much anxiety? You are not this body. You are within the body. And the body's anxieties you are taking as your anxieties. That's the whole initial subject matter. Science is explained. So, for such kind of people, we should explain about the world, even the worldly this thing. Then, that brings some kind of sensibilities in them. So, unless they know the symptoms of the disease, they will not get a push or they are not inclination to go to the doctor. So that is the answer. Hare Krishna. We'll stop. Yes, Prabhu. First of all, Parikshit Maharaj did not make mistake where he has to get a capital punishment. You just go and put one dead snake as a garland to a person and you'll get capital punishment. Mrityu danda. So, by even today, forget about the Vedic this thing, even today's context also, by the law of land, that's not the kind of punishment he is, even if you wanted to punish him, or insulted the Muni, that's what is, no? So, that was a mistake by Shringi, not by Parikshit. The Shringi, that Balaka, immature boy. Arbaka, I said. Arbaka means very immature. He has the ability, he has the capacity. Your father's property came to you, but you don't know how to utilize the property. Immature boy. He cursed. He knows, Parikshit knows that now, because he is the one who gives the punishments to everybody, no? As a king. He knows this is not the kind of punishment, even somebody do mistake like that, it's not the kind of punishment one has to achieve. So then he felt, first of all, I should not have behaved like that. I behaved. Second thing is, the kind of punishment is coming is disappropriate. So that there must be some divine will. That shows his devotee. Now in our case, your question is, okay, how we should treat when we do mistake. First of all, in our case, we don't even realize that we did mistake. That is the biggest problem for us. There should be somebody to show a mirror to all of us. Mirror. Aina hona chahiye. Even to see our face, to see our actions are right or wrong, somebody has to show that, oh, you're right or you're wrong. That's how parents, mother, father is the first guru. They are the one who educate us what is right, what is wrong. Because they have that affection. Their education is not out of jealousy, out of envy, out of competitive spirit. No. They care for you. They have affection towards you. That's why mother and father are first guru in our life, who showed what is right, what is wrong, what is the right path. So likewise, when we grow up, we should have some mirror for all of us. And that mirror is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we'll become sunisitaha. In our life, we'll become very, sunisita means what is that? Not introspective, we'll become not a, let me get the right word. Hardcore का opposite क्या है? Very soft-hearted. Hardcore person, he doesn't know. Every day is he's butchering. His heart become very hard. Sunisita means very, I'm not getting the right word. Sensitive. He'll become very sensible. Sensible is the right word. Sunisita means he'll become very sensible. Yeah, I told him so harshly to him. How he would have felt? How would have felt? We'll become so sensitive. That means before even talk, our tongue will get arrested. No, I should not talk like that to him. I should not hurt him like that. A Vaishnava is the one who don't want to harm anybody for that matter. Because he is very sensible. Sensible is the right word. Sunisita means very sensibly. So when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what is happening? Our heart is becoming soft and forever. We'll become very sensible to deal with the people, to deal with the, to engage anything in this world for that matter. So we are right or wrong, that will be perceived. And that Hare Krishna Mahamantra comes to our life only through the causeless mercy of Guru. See how causeless mercy. In our villages, in South India, especially in the Andhra coastal belt, every village has Rama temple, without fail. Every village Rama temple. Without Rama temple, there is no village. Of course, बाद में बदल गया है, बिना बाबा मंदिर. Things have changed now, but without Rama temple. And every village has a group called the Hare Krishna Hare Ram Bhajan group is there. In our villages. I got surprised when I came to Krishna consciousness. I got surprised because very childhood we are grown up in that kind of environment. How in our villages such kind of things are there? Later on we realized. And when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you understand. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how many years? Six years? Out of 6 years. With the first 6 years he was actually traveling South India, Vrindavan, Bengal, all these things. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled, he inundated all the villages. Wherever it, see those days not going in car or Godagadi, going by walk. Isn't it? Village after village he walked. And wherever he was traveling, he inundated all the villages with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And further, same yatra he did who? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That was 500 years back. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, 100 years back. He also further traveled all South India and established mutts, Gaudiya Mutt in Kovur near Guntur. There is a place called Kovur where Gaudiya Mutt is there. Then Chennai there is a Gaudiya Mutt. All the places. So effect of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, otherwise this Upanishad mantra, which is there, which is hidden. Where it is hidden? Upanishads. That's what is mentioned, no? The Lord's pastimes are hidden in Vedic knowledge. You have not captured that word? Guhyam, Vedeshu, Guhyeshu, cha Guhyadibihi, which is hidden in the Vedic literature. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought out openly, freely to everybody. Not to the Kovidas, not to only pure devotees, not to only to the Panditas, not only to educated class. For everybody, he brought it out. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's how you see, generally Telugu people are very pious. Very pious, because Hare Krishna mantra. And South India in that sense very pious. Pious in the sense there are other kind of pious. It's Sukruti. Sukruti means they easily accept Krishna consciousness because of Alvar's effects in Tamil Nadu. You see the kind of monumental temples they built. The kings who are influenced by Alvars, great devotees. And another side you see Karnataka, Madhvacharya's strong influence, the matas, the whole parampara. So you see the effect of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and anybody chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even hardcore pattar will be melt ho jata hai. Melt. Then sunisitaha will become very sensible, whether I did wrong, I should not have done that. Then will become sometime guilty conscious, sometime reformation also happens. Guilty conscious is also helpful to a certain degree, but guilt is always not good. Every time guilt is not good. Guilt sometimes even drags you further too. So guilty consciousness is helpful, provided if you are in touch with Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We stop here. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki.